good morning. It's another wet, windy, grey day down here, but we thought we'd go to have a quick look around Dover Castle and show you what it's all about there. We'll do it in two bits, one bit for the outside and then a little bit on the inside. If you come across this channel, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. It'd be most helpful. Right, when the light turns green, we're free to go up the drive to the castle.
Tunnels, haven't they? We've got the war tunnels just there.
There we have the war tunnels. You can get tours around there at certain times of the day. That's the naffy that was I think the last thing built on the site. There's the church, St Mary De Castro, been demolished and rebuilt a lot of times. I believe at one point it was being used to house sheep because it was so dilapidated. It is now a working church. Right, we're now just going to park up and go into the ticket office.
Turn around and park somewhere else. Oh,
it's very busy today. I mean, it's incredibly windy. I didn't expect this. We're members of the English Heritage. It's a good thing if you like looking around, you know, old castles and historic things of England. It's a good thing to join because they're quite expensive to get into on a single day.
The first thing built on this site in 1874 was this battery of guns. 2 guns. And
is that one of them that's out there now?
No. That side of the building there is the magazine for the gun that was round the corner. And then the other gun, if you look under the desk, you can see a gun barrel sticking up.
Oh yeah.
That was the pivot for this one.
Oh.
And the magazine for that one is just down there, basically. But you can't go in it because the steps are too steep.
Apparently they fired these guns once, back in 1874-5. And there was such a landslide down in the town, they said, don't do that again.
Not good, yeah.
No, I didn't know it was that
But
old.
the guns were removed and it was basically left derelict. And then in 1905, they built the first fire command post, which is what we're standing in now.
I really thought it was Second World War, yeah?
No, and then this bit was how it changed in 1914. So you've got the fire command post underneath, which is here. And the officer in command sat there. And he was a major in here. And he was in command of every gun between Folkestone and St Margaret's Bay. And in fact, all the guns that were out there, which there were rather a large number, they did not even need a command to open fire. If a ship tried to get in the harbour without authority, the immediate command was open fire. Because it hadn't transmitted the right code and then done the right things. So they just shoot straight at it.
And then in 1940, they put the concrete
The
shell
lid on it. But you'll notice
Is
the
that what we
date.
stand on?
This is 1941 when this was put on. This is after the Battle of Britain.
Right.
So Dover Castle was actually technically it should have been quite a target. But as far as I'm aware and can find out, only 2 bombs ever hit the castle. One bounced off the roof of the keep and exploded in the yard, and the other one blew up somewhere on the grass.
Agree.
And the only other one that landed that we do know about was down there in the vicar's garden, and it blew the gardener off his ladder. But it didn't do anything else. But then the others, mainly the principal damage to Dover, was done by shelling from across the channel in World War II.
Yeah, it's amazing that it can reach over it.
Those
I know
are-
it's only 23 miles or so.
the equivalent of your Apple phone and your iPad. It was
I think
all
I
that
prefer
new.
this. Yeah.
Some of the things were a little bit older. So these were built in 1890 and they still work on a good day, which we haven't got. You can still read the clock tower in Calais on them. They are really good. Zeiss,
Wow.
German. So
Yeah.
good.
And just to
They
intercept,
helped you.
there's a lovely photograph taken in 1940 of Adolf Hitler on the cliff top at Calais, looking over here at Dover through a pair of these.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
I mean, to see, see a clock face, that's something else, that's real, you know.
But so the way the system worked, you've got people called spotters. So they were sat down, which is why these things are at a funny height, and they were looking out for ships. So they could pan round, find a ship. If they found one they didn't like the look
So
of.
this is sort of like a periscope type thing.
Yeah,
You know,
the reason
yeah.
this is binoculars, the reason they're like this is because you got, even in 1914, the pair of binoculars was blooming heavy, so you couldn't stand like that for too long without getting the shakes.
Yeah.
So they used to sit down, look through these. Also, these were used on tanks and in the trenches, so you didn't get your head blown off.
Yeah.
And they're still used in tanks today.
Yeah,
Oh.
or something
Still
similar.
German built?
Probably.
No, well, we make them over here now.
Oh, right.
For military.
But if they found a ship, you gave it information to the guy who was operating this, which this is 120 odd years old, so it doesn't work anymore. But he would find the ship through the telescope, and then he could set it. There's all sorts of crosshairs and gauges inside this that you would see. And he put a high-tech pencil in there, and then he would track the ship across, and he could bring this backwards and forwards, and he could basically follow the ship as he was going. So as he was looking through there, he was turning these and following the ship.
Wow.
So they knew the speed of the ship, and they knew which quadrant it was going to be in at a certain time. These semicircles are the guns that he got available to him. So Langdon Battery, are you local?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Langdon Battery, about half a mile down that way. Citadel Battery was up on the cliff over there. Where are we? East Arm Battery, the Breakwater Battery, were out on the wall over there. See where it's raised up at each end?
Mm-hmm.
You've
Yeah.
got a gun crew living down there. So the guns used to, they were pop-ups. They come up on pneumatics, and they would fire and go back down again. So you got a gun crew living there, a gun crew living there, and probably some more dotted around.
Wow.
Wouldn't like it on
As
a
far
rough
as
night.
I've mentioned, there were actually 150 guns between here and St Margaret's Bay,
Yeah.
of different sizes, calipers and reason purposes.
It's going to be miserable living out there.
And then, if you decided you've got to take some action on this ship, you went over to the latest invention. And this is where the kids can't get their head around it. You gave the information to the person who was on this. And the number of kids who say, what's that? And they can't work it out. This is what they call a repeater station. So you've got headphones and a very primitive microphone. You had to charge the battery up, and then you could, Damp's got some, you could transfer your calls. Now, when this started, because this was a military one, you could speak to somebody directly in London in 4 hours' time. Because there was one of these about every 10, 15 miles all the way up to London.
So it's like a relay.
Yeah, and that's why it was called a repeater station. So you had to repeat the message all the way up.
Did it ever get lost in translation?
Yeah, that's where you get, we're going to advance, send reinforcements, and it got to the other end, we're going to advance, send 3 and 4pence.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, some interesting stuff.
So, yeah, so all this, as we say to the kids, was all top of the range. You know, this was the equivalent of your Apple phone at the time.
But it probably works better than an Apple phone still.
Well, it probably could do. But they did improve the time on it. They put in a longer cable, and then they found out, because this was all new, brand new stuff, they were experimenting with it as they went along. They found that if you put a longer cable in, the signal got weaker, so you had to have booster to boost the signal along that. They did manage to get it down to about half an hour by about 1916. So you could phone from here to.
Oh, so this is put in for the First World War.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was another Second World War.
No. Nothing in here is Second World War.
Everything's first.
Yeah. So this was this. They improved it. They got it down to you could talk to somebody in Whitehall in about half an hour.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That was
Really?
for the time.
Yeah.
You're probably on hold for longer than that if you're going to try.
Well,
and
you
call
are
them
when you
now.
try and phone a doctor now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But this was militaries.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
remember, some businesses, maybe doctors, maybe hospitals, had got phones, but you hadn't got one in your house.
No.
Nobody had.
No.
And there wasn't even a call box on the corner. That came a lot later.
No, we've all got one in our pockets.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Phone anywhere in the world from your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is what really scrambles the kids. They sort of
Can't get it, get it. Can't get
They
it.
can't get their head around where telephones first came from.
No.
No. That's a bit sad, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah. Now we come up. This is the viewpoint right over the. Well, you can see for miles. Like the fellas were saying in the room downstairs, they've got binoculars there that Zeiss branded on. But on a clear day, you can still see clock face in colour. So that's pretty impressive. And here we are. Yeah, like I say, very windy. Probably can't hear a word I'm saying. And look at that, you wouldn't even know you were at a castle, you can't even see the castle. The helicopter up there. You can't even see the castle from here. And it's up high. Yeah, it's a really impressive place. So get yourself down there if you're in the neck of the woods. approaching the castle now. Luckily we're in a bit of a dip, so the wind's kind of eased up. Yeah, some interesting stuff we was told about the castle that I'll try and remember to explain to you as well when we get in there. One of the old towers. Old, they're all going to be old. It's a nice view. The frames are nice. Just looking in up to the castle. This is where we're coming down the ghost walk in Halloween this year, or last year. Yeah, we're going to go take a right here, and there's an old church and a 2,000-year-old Roman lighthouse. So history goes back so far in this place. 2,000 years is covered in just the things that we've seen today. You know. So as we walk up, yeah, I think this is actually a working church, so it still has services every week. And just next to it is the Roman lighthouse, which again was built, I think they said 43 AD, so just under 2,000 years old. And that's next to, I think this church is 1,000 years old. Or there's been a church on this site for 1,000 years. Yeah. Let's go and have a look in. This is inside. Is that door open? Side door is. In the church. According to records my mum's found online, we have her 14 times and my 15 times great granddad. He's buried in it. And what was he?
Keeper of the castle.
And he was the keeper of the castle in how long ago was that now?
It's a lovely French carpet.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is what's the church called, Mum?
St Mary De Castro.
St Mary De Castro Church in the grounds above the castle. I believe it's originally Saxon. There is a door in a minute I'll show you, which is, it says it is a blocked Saxon door. Yeah. I've never been this far, and this place is part is usually locked off. Could be. Could be they had a service here. And they just allowed to. This looks like a private little chapel. Looks like a little font or something, is it?
Yeah, maybe it's a thing, isn't it? Nativity is the 8th of January.
Tree.